You've felt it, the shift, the call, the undeniable pull towards something greater. This isn't coincidence. This is your moment. A powerful force has placed you at the center of a mission so critical it's shaking the foundations of the world. You were not meant to blend in. The systems in place recognize your potential, and they fear it. That's why they watch, why they strategize, why they attempt to contain what cannot be controlled. The resistance you face is proof of your significance. The obstacles in your way confirm that you were meant to rise. This is not the time to shrink back. It's time to step forward. The forces that seek to hold you down are only revealing their own weakness. Your fire cannot be extinguished. Declare your readiness. Stand in your power. Let the world see that no amount of opposition can stop what has already been set in motion. They've been watching, studying, waiting for the right moment. And now, the moment has come. Their choice was not made lightly, nor was it left to chance. You were set apart, recognized not for what's visible on the surface, but for what lies beneath. The strength, the resilience, the fire that refuses to be extinguished. They did not select you because you blend in. They chose you because you stand out. For too long, the world has underestimated you, dismissed you, failed to recognize what you were becoming. But they saw it. They saw the way you rise when others fall, the way you break through limits that hold most people captive. This is not a mission for those who hesitate. This is a calling for those who refuse to break. And yet, even they do not see the full picture. They see ability, skill, intelligence. But there is something greater at work. Before they ever turned their eyes towards you, before any decision was made, your purpose was already written. Every trial, every hardship, every moment of doubt, none of it was wasted. It was shaping you, preparing you for this. They may have opened the door, but the path was laid long before they arrived. This is more than an opportunity. This is a collision of destiny, earthly choices meeting divine intention. The power within you is not just talent, it is a force that reshapes the world around you. And now, the time has come to wield it, to step forward, to claim what was always meant to be yours. But know this, when you rise, the world takes notice, and not everyone watches with admiration. There are those who fear what they cannot predict, those who watch from the shadows, trying to understand what cannot be measured. They track, they record, they document, but they do not see the full truth. They see movement, but not purpose. They see change, but not the force driving it. You are no longer just another name, another face, another presence in the crowd. You are a disruption, a force they cannot contain, a reality they were never prepared for. And now the only question left is, are you ready to step into what's already yours? Every move you make sends ripples beyond what you can see. To those in power, your growth is not just personal, it is a disruption. They do not watch you out of curiosity, but out of necessity, hoping to find a flaw, a moment of hesitation, something they can use to keep you confined to the margins. Their concern is not justice, it is preservation. You are a force they do not understand, a shift they did not predict. But the battle is not only waged in what is seen. There is a deeper struggle, one that moves through the unseen, where forces beyond flesh and bone seek to weaken your resolve. Doubt creeps in as whispers, fear arrives disguised as logic, and distractions pull at your focus like invisible chains. These forces do not need to destroy you, they only need to make you pause. Yet, they will not succeed, because what is within you is greater than anything that stands against you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Isaiah 54:17. A diamond is never formed in ease. It is shaped by pressure, refined by fire, and only revealed when the weight of the earth is moved aside. And just like that diamond, you were never meant to remain hidden. You stand out, not because you seek attention, but because your presence demands it. You disrupt the ordinary, shake the foundations of stagnation, and call forth something greater than what the world has been conditioned to accept. That is why they watch you. That is why they monitor your steps. Not because you are lost, but because you are leading. And yes, the weight of that awareness can feel overwhelming. The scrutiny can press against your spirit, and the pressure to retreat will whisper in your ear. But do not mistake resistance for defeat. A tree with deep roots does not fear the wind. And you are planted in something unshakable. You were never meant to be silent. You were never called to blend in. Every obstacle in your way is not a barrier. It is a confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. The ones who go unnoticed are the ones who never posed a threat to the way things have always been. But you are a force of change, a disruptor, a breaker of cycles. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them take their notes and run their calculations. It will not stop what is coming. It will not alter what has already been written. Because what was meant to contain you will only prove what has always been true. You were never meant to be controlled. You were meant to rise. Now is the moment to lean into the one who has guided you all along. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've faced, and every victory you've claimed has been leading you to this. It may not have been clear at the time, but there was never a wasted experience, never a meaningless trial. What looked like setbacks were in fact stepping stones, shaping you into someone who could stand firm when others waver. Nothing in your journey has been by accident. Every battle, every closed door, every difficult decision was part of something greater, a preparation you couldn't yet see. Think back to the struggles that nearly broke you, the nights that felt endless, the weight that seemed unbearable. Those moments were not meant to destroy you. They were refining you. Like metal tested in fire, your hardships burned away the doubts, the fears, the limitations placed upon you by yourself and others. What seemed like chaos was actually precision. Every storm had a purpose, every loss carried a lesson, and every hardship carved strength into the very fabric of your being. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done. Genesis 50:20. Gold is never pure until it has passed through the fire. The strongest warriors are not made in comfort, but in battle. And just like that gold, just like those warriors, you have been refined. Everything you have faced, the rejection, the betrayal, the loneliness, was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to define you. Every time they turned away, every time they doubted, every time they underestimated you, it wasn't a setback. It was a setup, because their absence cleared the way for something greater. They were never your foundation. God was. They were never the source of your strength that was built from within. You have been tested not to prove your weakness, but to reveal your strength. The nights when no one noticed your effort, when no applause followed your sacrifice, when the weight of your calling felt unbearable, you were not unseen. You were not forgotten. Every tear, every whispered doubt, every unanswered question was seen, heard, and accounted for. And it was all leading to this. This was never just about endurance. It was about preparation. Not just in your body, not just in your mind, but in your spirit. The lessons were never about survival. They were about trust. You were being taught to stand firm, not on what you see, but on what you know to be true. And now, looking back, it all makes sense. You were never being abandoned. You were being positioned. You were never being broken. You were being rebuilt. Everything behind you was shaping you. Everything ahead of you is waiting for you. So stand in the truth of what has already been written. You were made for this. The fire didn't consume you. It refined you. The storm didn't drown you. It strengthened you. And now, nothing and no one can stop what has already been set in motion. Rise, step forward, take your place. The preparation is over. Now is your time. You were never meant to blend in. From the very beginning, every experience, every lesson, and every challenge has been shaping you for something greater. This moment isn't random. It's the culmination of preparation that began long before you ever recognized it. What lies ahead isn't just another step. It's the unveiling of who you were always meant to become. Every hardship, every setback, every moment of doubt wasn't meant to stop you. It was designed to equip you. You were never being broken. You were being built. But stepping into purpose always attracts resistance. The moment you move forward, there are those who will try to pull you back. Some will do it out of fear, others out of jealousy. They don't resent your progress. They fear what it means for them. Some will disguise themselves as friends, while others will work openly to undermine you. And the most painful betrayals? They will come from those you once trusted, the ones you never expected to turn away. But this was never unknown to the one who has been guiding you. Before they even made their move, provision was already made for your protection. No weapon formed against you will stand. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no human mind has conceived the things God has prepared for those who love Him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. A tree does not fear the storm when its roots run deep. A warrior does not flinch in battle when they know the victory is already secured. And you? You were never meant to fear what stands against you. There is a battle raging, but it is not just the one you see. There are forces that work in silence, trying to shake your foundation, whispering doubt into your mind, planting distractions to slow you down. But they do not hold the power they pretend to have. Their plans are already unraveling. Their schemes are already failing. Because what was meant to stop you has only made you stronger. Every obstacle, every delay, every attack is being turned into your advancement. What they thought was a trap has become your elevation. The setbacks have only sharpened your resilience. Every time they tried to weaken you, they unknowingly forged something unbreakable inside of you. This is not a time for fear. This is a time for strength. The world may watch, the opposition may rise, but none of it matters, because they cannot stop what has already been written. They cannot undo what was set in motion before time itself. They can monitor you, but they cannot contain you. They can conspire, but they cannot overcome what was ordained in heaven. You were set apart. You were chosen. You were prepared. Now is the time. Step forward, not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with the unshakable confidence that nothing, no enemy, no failure, no betrayal can take from you what was always meant to be yours. Your destiny is waiting. Walk in it. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. A tree with deep roots does not fear the storm. A warrior with unshakable faith does not flee the battlefield. And you? You do not back down. Everything rising against you is not an obstacle. It is confirmation. No one fights against something insignificant. The pressure, the resistance, the forces trying to push you back, it is all proof that your presence is disrupting the status quo. If you weren't a threat, they wouldn't be watching. If you weren't powerful, they wouldn't be resisting. Do not mistake opposition for defeat. The very challenges designed to break you are the same ones that are fortifying you. Every delay, every betrayal, every moment of doubt is fuel for your ascent. What was meant to limit you is actually making you stronger. You are covered. You are protected. You are positioned to rise. Nothing formed against you will stand. Every scheme, every attack, every plan, made in secret, will crumble before it ever reaches you. Why? Because before they ever plotted against you, the way forward was already secured. They can try to stop you, but they cannot change what has already been written. They can attempt to delay you, but divine timing does not fail. The weapons formed will not prosper. The barriers set before you will collapse, and the path meant for you will remain yours alone to walk. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them strategize. It will not change the outcome. What has been set in motion cannot be undone. Step forward, move boldly. Your destiny is waiting. Beyond what most people see, there is a structure shaping the course of the world, a force operating in the background, influencing decisions, shifting history, and directing the movements of key individuals. And now, they have chosen you. Not by luck, not by accident, but by intent. They recognize something in you that others overlooked, a mind that sees beyond the obvious, a resilience that doesn't crack under pressure, a voice that carries authority. They need thinkers, builders, disruptors, those who don't just follow orders, but shape the future. But even they do not see the full extent of your purpose. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. A lighthouse does not beg for attention. It simply shines. It does not chase the lost. It stands firm so they can find their way. And just like that light, you were never meant to be hidden. You were not placed here just to navigate the ordinary. You were called to walk in alignment with something far greater than human understanding. While others may see your leadership, your strategy, and your influence, what they fail to grasp is the true depth of your calling. You are not simply a force for change. You are a beacon in the unseen, a disruptor of darkness, a guide where others are lost. And make no mistake, your presence will not go unnoticed. There will be those who challenge you, question you, and even betray you. Not because you are wrong, but because you are a threat to the comfort of complacency. Some will fear the shift you bring. Others will resist because your presence exposes their own limitations. But hear this, none of it will stop you. Every battle you face is not an obstacle, it is an assignment. Every challenge is not meant to break you, it is meant to sharpen you. When the moment comes, you will not stand uncertain, you will stand unstoppable. This is not about perfection, it is about obedience. The path ahead may not always be clear, and yes, mistakes may come, but no failure, no opposition, no setback can override what has already been written about you. So keep moving, keep standing, keep shining. The world is shifting, and you are not just part of the change, you are leading it. You are unstoppable, and that's why they fear you. They will fight against you but will not overcome you. For I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 1:19. Imagine an eagle soaring high above the earth. It does not ask permission to fly. It does not check with the storm before spreading its wings. It rises, not because the wind is kind, but because it was created to rule the skies. And the higher it goes, the smaller everything beneath it becomes. That is who you are. You are not called to stay grounded. You are not meant to move at the pace of those who doubt, who hesitate, who fear the unknown. No, when God set His hand on you, He set you apart. And the moment you step into that calling, the resistance begins. It won't just come from your enemies. It will come from places you never expected. Paths that once seemed clear will suddenly be blocked. People who once supported you will start to question you. Doors that looked wide open will slam shut without warning. But hear me now. None of this is a sign that you are losing. It is proof that you are winning. When you move in divine purpose, the systems of this world take notice. The forces that operate in shadows do not fear those who follow the rules. They fear those who rewrite them. They fear the one who cannot be contained, the one who moves outside their control. And so they watch, they monitor, they strategize, they think if they can track your steps, they can predict your next move. If they can delay your progress, they can weaken your momentum. But what they fail to understand is this. Your path was not made by man, and it cannot be blocked by man. They may try to place barriers in front of you, but those barriers will become the very steps that elevate you. They may attempt to contain your influence, but their resistance will only magnify your impact. The more they try to limit you, the more they confirm that you are beyond their reach. Because God does not just call, He equips. He does not just send, He surrounds. And when God surrounds you, no strategy of man, no interference of the enemy, no force in existence can stop what He has already put in motion. So do not let resistance shake you. Do not let delays discourage you. Do not let closed doors make you doubt. Because the more they push against you, the more undeniable your purpose becomes. You are not just stepping into a calling, you are stepping into power. And once you do, there is nothing that can stand in your way. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:2-3. Steel is not strong until it is forged in fire. A diamond does not shine until it has been pressed beneath the weight of the earth. And just like that, you are being refined. Resistance is not a sign to stop. It is the very force that sharpens you. Every challenge is an invitation to rise. Every setback a stepping stone towards something greater. What looks like a blockade is often just a redirection toward destiny. The ones who work against you, the forces that try to contain you, the voices that say you cannot rise, they do not realize they are placing you exactly where you need to be. Their opposition does not weaken your calling. It confirms it. They resist you not because you are weak, but because your presence unsettles what they have always known. Your faith, your courage, your refusal to conform. It exposes what they lack. They mistake your confidence for defiance, but what they fail to see is you are simply walking a road they were too afraid to travel. So let their doubt fuel your certainty. Let their resistance remind you of who you are. What was meant to be an obstacle will become your foundation. What they thought would hold you back will be the very thing that lifts you higher. The battle is not theirs to win. The outcome has already been written. You will rise. Though you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. The flames will not consume you. Isaiah 43:2. Gold is never refined without fire. A sword is never sharpened without resistance, and a warrior is never made strong without the battle. You were never meant to simply survive. You were meant to rise. The trials before you are not here to break you. They are shaping you, forging you, turning you into something unshakable. Every challenge strengthens your endurance. Every setback refines your wisdom, and every hardship deepens your faith. The forces working against you are not proof of your failure. They are proof of your purpose. If you were insignificant, you would not be a threat. But the very fact that opposition exists is confirmation that you cannot be ignored. Now is the time to embrace the divine power that has always surrounded you. Every closed door is not rejection. It is redirection. Every loss is not defeat. It is a setup for something greater. What was meant to weaken you is only serving as undeniable proof of your resilience. You are not walking this path alone. Your steps have already been ordered, your journey already protected, and your victory already secured. Yes, the weight of this mission is real. The pressure of being watched, the whispers of doubt, the resistance pushing against you, it is all part of the process. But none of it is stronger than the one who has called you forward. There is a shield around you, unseen but impenetrable. No scheme formed against you will stand. Every trap they set will collapse under the weight of its own deception. You don't need to fight for your place. You don't need to battle for approval. Your victory does not come from retaliation. It comes from standing firm in the knowledge that you have already won. So let them watch, let them whisper, let them plot. It will not change what has already been set in motion. The opposition may be loud, but it is powerless against the certainty of your purpose. What has been ordained cannot be undone. Keep moving, keep rising. Your destiny is waiting. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. Imagine a lighthouse standing in the middle of a raging storm. The winds howl, the waves crash, and the sky is split open with lightning. And yet, no matter how fierce the storm, no matter how high the waves rise, that lighthouse remains. It does not waver, it does not crumble, and it does not go dark. Why? Because it was built for this. It was not placed in the storm by accident. It was placed in the storm on purpose. And just like that lighthouse, you were built to stand firm. You were not put here to be tossed around by the winds of life. You were not called to barely survive, to scrape by, to shrink in fear. No, when God placed you here, He placed you with purpose, with power, and with a promise. This is not just about avoiding the storm. It's about rising above it. The enemy may try to shake you, but he cannot take you down. He may send obstacles, but those obstacles will only serve as stepping stones to your next breakthrough. What was meant to hold you back will push you forward. What was designed to break you will build you. You see, the presence of God doesn't just protect, it empowers. It doesn't just shield, it equips. It doesn't just cover you, it fills you. And when God fills you, fear turns to faith, weakness turns to strength, and the impossible becomes inevitable. So don't look at your struggle and see defeat, see destiny. Don't look at your obstacles and see walls, see doors. Because every delay, every challenge, every setback is just another piece of divine positioning. The world may not understand what God is doing in you, but that's okay, because they don't have to. God didn't call them to approve your journey, He called you to walk it. And as long as He is the one directing your steps, you can rest in this truth. Nothing can stop what He has set in motion. You are not walking this path alone. You are not fighting these battles by yourself. You are covered, you are chosen, and you are empowered. Now walk in it. You were not chosen by accident. Before anyone recognized your potential, before any mission was placed before you, your calling was already sealed. The trials you have faced were not roadblocks, they were training. The opposition you encounter is not a sign of failure, it is evidence of your purpose. What stands against you now will only testify to your victory later. And now, the moment has come to step fully into the mission ahead. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with absolute certainty. No enemy can undo what has been divinely written. No resistance can overpower what has been set in motion. The world may try to delay you, distract you, or contain you, but they are only proving one thing. You are unstoppable. The time for doubt has passed. The time for hesitation is over. The path is before you, and it is yours alone to walk. Stand firm, move forward, and let your faith be the force that leads the way. Nothing can stop what was meant to be.